You'll be safe. From now on, you'll be with me.
I'm not safe. I'm next.
Bro.
Oh, the melodrama.
Delivered with such intensity. I believe my first line when we watched this was, "Oh no, Jeff Fahey plays the main character. I've seen him in a few movies, all not awesome."
That's not a good sign. Welcome to Screams and Streams, the podcast that looks at the best and worst horror movies as rated on Rotten Tomatoes from 1970 onwards. I'm your host, Sam, and with me are my co-hosts,
Mike
and
Chad.
Be sure to check us out on Instagram. Our handle is @ScreamStreamPod. Also, check out our website, screamsandstreams.com, for more information about the films we're looking at. Just a warning, if you don't like spoilers, we recommend that you stop listening now, check out the film, and rejoin us for our discussion. Today, we're looking at a film suggested to us by a listener. It is Eric Red's 1991 film Body Parts. It scored 37% on Rotten Tomatoes, so let's get into it. Mike, can you give us a summary, please?
Sure thing. When Bill Chrushank, I don't know how to say it. When Bill loses his arm in a car accident, the arm of an executed death row inmate is grafted on in its place. The only problem, as Bill soon discovers, is that the arm is possessed by a force he cannot control.
Bum, bum, bum. Where does evil reside?
It's in the skin.
In the skin?
It's the skin of a killer. All right, thanks for that. Mike, what are we drinking today? What's our sinister sip?
The sinister sip for Body Parts is a strong arm.
And boy, does he have a strong arm in this film.
That's awesome.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh, cough syrup.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't.
Oh, it gets worse later.
I was going to say maybe it comes through in the aftertaste. It needs something.
That is equal parts vodka, blue curacao, and gin.
Yeah. Okay.
I
don't think we're hitting real winners with the gin drinks.
No.
Like we missed a couple. Like that one was the last time we did it. I think we all coughed.
That's why we need the cough syrup today.
Yeah.
The gin is just a little tough.
Yeah.
I like gin and tonic, and I like gin drinks, but yeah, these cocktails are rough.
Yeah, it needs a citrus or something.
I was going to say it needs a bit of lemon, I think, in it.
Yeah.
Or maybe lime.
Lime
would be good with the blue curacao.
Yeah.
It is thick too. Like it lines your
does
throat.
line your throat. It does.
Cough syrup is actually.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Mike.
No problem.
I will put that to the side.
Mike. Yeah.
I didn't make it up, so I'm not offended.
Is it just a quick shot, or do you actually sip this? I'm not sure how to drink it.
When you have a cold. All right. Thanks, Mike, for your liquor. All right. Now looking at this film, Body Parts. Chad, what'd you think of this?
Well, I thought this movie struggled to figure out what it wanted to be. I think it wanted to be a serious horror movie, but it had these kind of campy effects and things that I think if they would have leaned into it more like Dead Alive or The Reanimator, as we talked about before, I think if they made it silly, it would have been awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
But because they tried so hard to make it a serious horror film, it just missed the mark for me. I didn't mind. There were elements that I liked, but it wasn't awesome. But there were definitely parts that I enjoyed. But overall, I'd say it didn't really hit for me.
No. And was this your first time seeing it?
It was actually, yeah.
Yeah, I would probably say the same. I think it tried to be too serious. And and then of course, like you're going in and 45 minutes in, there's no death. Like, well, besides the death row inmate, I guess. There's no death going into it. It was slow and serious. And kind of
way
like
too philosophical.
Yes, I was like, it's not that deep. Like it's not just like you said, have fun with it and let's go. But yeah.
Like there's a part we'll talk about it later. Because I don't want to wreck anybody's categories or take what they had. But yeah, there's a lot I want to unpack on this film.
Mike, what did you think?
This is the second time I've seen it. I saw it back in junior high sometime, and I didn't really like it then. I remember it was just another video from the video store because there's nothing else to rent, and didn't enjoy it. And so when it came up on the suggested list, I was just like, oh no, another one. Like, why are they doing this to us? But yeah, it's what you both said. It's slow. The attempt of being like, where does evil lie? And he's like thesis or whatever he's writing, and it was just terrible, and it went nowhere. There was only one moment in the film that I was like, oh, I actually enjoyed that, and that's it.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, just one.
Just one.
Oh, okay.
One.
Yeah.
One moment.
One moment.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think it just tried to be too serious, too philosophical. It wasn't scary in any way at all. So. All right. Thanks for those. We're going to look at our tropes hall of shame. Chad, you had quite a few. Why don't you kick us off?
Yeah. Okay. First one. You see this all the time. This professor in a classroom is up at the front of the class and he's just talking, like he's just having a conversation with his students, and all the students are writing down absolutely every single word he's saying. And I was just like, this just doesn't happen. No. And they're all listening so intently. And we see this in every movie where the teacher's up at the front of the class talking and they're all just writing down everything.
Taking it all in, all the wisdom.
Yeah, I was like, that's enough of that. And then I had another one that was not believing the victim again. Yeah. So he's saying, there's something going on, and they're, oh, don't be ridiculous. It's all in your head. It's all in your head. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So those were my first two. Perfect.
Mike, what about you?
My first trope was an expert who questions their field of expertise or their field of practice.
Yep.
Where Jeff Fahey is like, oh, it just might all be bullshit. Like, oh my God. Like, we don't need to have crisis of faiths or conscience in these. Like, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that one bothered me. And a lot bothered me, but that bothered me. And then my other trope comes way later, but it's going to a dive bar when things go wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And it's always that same like instrumental blues in the background, red neon light, pool hall, and terrible.
Yeah. Always ends in like a fight or confrontation.
Yeah.
They're so down about everything. It's like, come on. I also had the like questioning your own ability or your own thoughts. I also hated that he was like journaling and we heard his like inner monologue.
The narrator over top.
Like, oh my God. I was like, shut up.
Sometimes.
So bad. Similar to the 80s. I love this one. A Kid Named Billy. So out of the 4 movies that we prepped for this week, 3 of them had Billy's.
Billy,
Billy is, but Billy's growing up now. We're in the 90s, so some of them are a little bit older. And then my other one was shooting handcuffs off. I think we see that quite often. It's kind of like, I don't know if it would work, but it did for this. Chad, what else do you have?
I had overly ambitious doctor doing whatever it takes to push her agenda, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it doesn't matter what the consequences are. We're just going to do this.
Yeah. The science is more important than life.
Yeah. So that was one I had. I also had, for the 4 movies we prepped, 2 of them had body. Actually 3 if you count the hair one, and the other one we're going to do. But the body part has a mind of its own. Right? It just comes alive. It's so fucking stupid. Anyways, it comes alive and it attacks, and the guy has what is happening to me? Has no control over it. Yeah, so that was another one that I had.
Mike, what did you have?
My last one is a car crashing and exploding instantly.
Yeah.
That car crash was awesome though.
It was
so good. And he flew so far.
He was gone.
How he lived and just lost an arm, I do not know.
And like perfectly fine. It's just his arms mangled.
Like a couple of scratches on his face.
Like superficial, like really.
Yeah.
But no, not that car crash. It's the one later with the killer.
Oh, that's right.
It slides into the other car.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Done. Oh, that's funny.
So a pair of car crashes that were amazing.
Yeah. All right. Now we're going to look at our one-liners. Chad, you had 8. So do you want to start us off for this category?
Let me be blunt, doctor. Why don't you go fuck yourself? My favorite line in the whole film. And then when he's trying to get her to take the arm, just give me a hook or something. Like,
just anything. Yeah. But also, can you imagine if it was a hook at the shoulder? It was so inconvenient. Just leave it with nothing at that point. You wouldn't even be able to move it.
Getting hooked on every lamppost you walk by.
Motherfucker, this thing just catches everything.
Just leave it.
How do you wear a turtleneck? How do you wear a sweater? You just don't.
And anything would just rip. You just put it on.
Only vests.
Only vests.
Like rolling over in bed. Like just awful.
So those were my first two. Did you want me to do another one? Or
Sure, go ahead.
When he comes in and the guy, he's interviewing the convict, and he's like, "You look how I feel." And he's like, "Well, what do you mean by that?" And he's like, "You look like shit, man. You speak English."
Oh, those are really good ones. Mike, what did you have?
The first line I had is when he's coming out of the hospital after the surgery and the recovery, and they're peppering him with questions. And one reporter, "Do you think the operation will affect your sex life?"
Yes, I did have that one too.
I have some stuff on that a little bit later.
Oh my God.
I was waiting for with myself, maybe.
It really does feel like a stranger.
And then my next one is when he goes to one of the other donor recipients. I don't care about the name, but he's like, "So you want to arm wrestle or what?"
Oh yeah, that's the guy who plays Wormtongue in that. He's been in a bunch of our horror movies that we've seen.
Yeah, Brad Dourif.
Yeah, I had that one too.
Yeah, I did too. All right, Chad, what else did you have?
When he's first transferred into the hospital and the doctor comes in and she's like, "He'll live, but I'm afraid we can't save his arm." And it's like, who gives a shit? Like, he's alive, right? And then she's like, "Now I can give him a new arm." And I was like, just like that?
Yeah.
Like, we just have one on ice, ready to go, but you got to sign this form today.
Right
now.
With no discussion, because otherwise we can't do it.
Yeah.
And then when he was asking the convict again, like, "How do you feel about killing a person?" And his answer was, "Well, I'm the one going to be alive come morning, not that son of a bitch." I got a kick out of that one.
You got some good ones.
Yeah, I missed a lot of those.
Yeah. Mike, did you have any others?
So I wrote this one down because, not that it was a great line, but I was kind of like, oh, it's the yada yada moment before Seinfeld had the yada yada. Like, she pulls a few strings and cha-cha-cha, you've got his right arm. You skipped over the most important part.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. Now we're going to look at what doesn't hold up. I'm going to start us off here. I hated the opening interview with the murderer. Like, it was so long.
Yes.
And like forced and boring. And I was like, none of this is progressing. Like, we get it. Like, you're a criminal psychologist or whatever. Like, yeah, boring. I also didn't like the camera angles. They were kind of annoying and weird. I don't know what they were, but it totally took me out, especially at the beginning. I hated it. Yeah.
And like the operation, that weird wide angle distorted lens for his point of view was just
I was like,
wide.
This is weird.
Yeah,
I really didn't like it. Mike, what about you?
For me, one of the things that doesn't hold up from this film is the nightmares. I just thought they were terrible, like with the high pitched noises and the distorted images again.
Yeah.
I found them so annoying. And then using a circular saw to remove a head. Like, no care about the veins, the nerves.
Yeah, if it said Black and Decker on the side of it, it would have been awesome. Yeah, because she basically took a
skill saw,
and cut his head off. I was like, it was ridiculous.
Chad, what did you have?
Well, I had the cops walking through the hospital with shotguns. Like, how many cops did they have in that operating room?
Yeah.
First of all, they're wearing gowns, but none of them are sterile.
No.
Like, they're doing major surgery. They're cutting a dude's head off. Like, there's just no fucking way. And what did they think that convict was going to do? Like rise up and start attacking people?
He's sedated and now decapitated. Yeah. Good thing you have 10 guns in the room.
10 guns in the room. And they're all shotguns.
Yeah.
You're destroying all the equipment if you shoot at this guy.
The spray alone, you're going to kill everybody in that room. Just made no sense. So that was one I had. And then I also had, after his major surgery and he gets his whole arm replaced, they show him kind of in recovery and he's doing the, he's got those cuts on his head. There was one on his forehead that totally just looked like they pushed the skin in, mashed it up, and threw a Band-Aid on it.
Oh.
Like, it didn't look like a cut. It looked like a fold in his forehead. And I was like, well, that just looks lazy.
Yeah.
Like, you go to all this to scar up this arm, but then you cheap out on the facial cuts.
They ran out.
Yeah, that's right. We're out of scar
He's
makeup.
All right. I had a couple things. So just at the same time points in the film as you, Chad, when they wheel him into that non-sterile room,
Yeah.
and his arm stubs just like out and
Out
about,
in
it's
the
just
air,
exposed. I was like, they don't even cover it. Like they don't do. There's nothing like an ice pack on it. I don't know. Like you got to save the nerves.
Just
like,
exposed blood.
raw.
And,
Raw
there
in
it
the
is.
world.
Yeah.
And-
Hanging out.
just I was like, oh, and it's like kind of off the gurney.
Yeah.
Too. It was like
Off
gross.
to the side. Yeah.
And then I don't know a lot about rehab times after getting limbs fully put onto you, but the rehab time didn't make sense to me. So like he was in there for 4 months and then he was good to go. Like he's got complete, which I'm like, okay, that seems legit. But then the guy who was just learning to walk, he was just learning how to walk like 2 days before going and b-balling it up. And then I was like, I don't think this man should be driving a vehicle. And that was before he crashed.
Yeah.
And like, or almost crashed. And it's like, oh my gosh, I don't understand it. But yeah.
But because of his new legs, he can slam dunk and impress everybody.
I know. Yeah.
But he could barely walk like 2 days before. And
Yeah.
then he's sprinting. Like, and I know that's the mind of its own. But I was like, he shouldn't be playing basketball.
No.
Seems dangerous after 2 limbs getting attached to him. Come on.
Yeah, the rehab didn't make sense. I
No,
agree.
at all. Mike.
My last one we've already talked about, but it's the voiceovers through the movie.
Yeah.
Just
Oh, yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah, I agree completely. Chad, did you have a couple more?
The death scene with the painter when he's falling out the window and his arm just comes off.
Oh,
So like, he just pulls it off. I was like, how the fuck does that happen?
And that's why the guy should not be playing basketball. His
Yeah,
legs are going to just fall off.
limbs can so easily be yanked out of their sockets and like
They weren't put on really well.
yeah, they just a one stitch in there. And there we go. We're gonna take that back. So that one didn't do it for me. And then there was, I said the rehab time didn't make any sense. And I actually laughed when he had the 5-pound dumbbell and it just like shot off to the side. And he's like, did you see that? And I was like, of course she fucking saw it. Like, you just windmilled a 5-pound dumbbell. Like, just dumb. So yeah, didn't make sense.
Oh, thanks for those. For me, I also had the dream flashback sequences, Mike, as well, and the noises that came. Like it was just too much.
So annoying.
And then I also said the drive-by handcuffing was ridiculous.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he just happened to be like, who's steering at that point? He's just like,
Pulls up beside him, click.
gotcha. And then the whole scene that follows is ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
But Reddit loved it. So that was in my deep dive.
Yeah, I read a couple of reviews about the car chase scene, and lots of people enjoyed it. Thought it was awesome.
I don't know. I didn't, but I'm not into like car
it's-
chase. Like car chases are not my cup of tea.
One of them would have dislocated their shoulder 3 seconds into that scene.
Oh,
Well, and if those arms could just pop off readily, like that thing would have been ripped off at the first turn.
you could have just been like, take it.
Yeah.
But also just jump into the other vehicle. Like, just, I don't know. It was.
That would have been hilarious if they were stopped at that thing and he just came into the back and sat down and was like attacked.
Would have been better.
I think so too. Like, I think there's a lot of things here. Like, the arm just getting ripped off would have been so funny had
Yes.
they done more of that like campy and like
Yeah.
fun aspect instead of being so serious. Like,
Yeah.
there are some good things here, but it's just like it falls flat.
Yeah,
Like,
if
have
they-
the rogue arm like try to choke the
Yes.
person.
Yes,
Choke
yeah.
him
Oh my
out,
gosh,
like,
yes.
Like fighting his own head. Be great.
Like like we said, they take a circular saw to the guy's head. Like at least you make it fun, right?
Yeah.
Because at that point you already know. Oh, okay, this
We're
is
beyond
ridiculous.
belief. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, just have fun with it. Too serious.
Yeah, completely. And the very last thing I had was just the fact that he was awake and watching the
Yeah.
saw. Like, I'm sorry, he was just watching that.
I
Like,
know.
put him out, guys. Like,
Well, and then they finally put the mask on, and it takes him forever to go to sleep.
And he was breathing so weird.
Yeah.
So
I know. I've had
like-
surgery before, and they put that mask on me, and they say count back from 5, and at 4 I'm
yeah,
out.
done.
Yeah.
Gotta up that dose. Or breathe normal.
Or breathe normal.
One time they're like, you might taste garlic. I'm like,
Yeah.
Out. All right, now we're going to look at our most gratuitous scene. Mike, what was gratuitous for you?
So my first one, Chad, you already talked about, like the number of guns in the operating room was gratuitous. And then my other one was, just how long it takes him to get to the lab to sever his own arm, where it's like, he's like, I've got to cut it off or get to the doctor or whatever. And then it felt like 5 minutes of screen time of him just walking into the lab. It's like, we get where he's going.
Just show him there.
Don't need to see him get there. Yeah.
His legs were fine.
Yeah.
Chad, what about you?
Gratuitous, it's Bill, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's his name, Bill Keshamy or whatever.
Chrushank.
Cruikshanks.
Cruikshanks. Way better.
His turtlenecks. There's an excessive amount of turtlenecks.
It was film. 91. Come on. Turtleneck sweaters were the thing.
In every scene, he had a turtleneck sweater on.
True, actually.
It was ridiculous.
Him and Ross Geller.
That's right. Yeah.
They are
leather
the
jacket
same.
and a white turtleneck sweater. That was the go-to style at the time, I guess. Yeah. Anyways, there was that. And you guys have all made a comment about this already, but it was the dream sequences I just found too much, too many, too much, and annoying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was mine, was the dream sequences. It's way too much. Okay, now we're going to head into terrifying or titillating. So for me, for this one, you guys had already brought it up with one of the one-liners about whether or not you think the procedure would impact the sex life
right?
Yeah.
Or whatever, and just how weird it would be. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. It's just weird. It's weird.
It skeeved me out when the first night when he's touching her with the rehabbed arm or the attached arm. It was weird. Like, I don't know how I'd handle it. It's like, it's my wife's mind controlling it, but that is like another person's hand. It was unsettling for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'd want to see like them next to it. Like, you know what I mean? Like the one hand would be so different. Like they'd have different like stubbier fingers, or like one would be hairier or like something. I don't know.
Calluses in the wrong spot. Like,
so as he's touching the body, you'd be comparing the hands. It's like that's fucked up.
I don't like that.
Or even just holding hands. Like maybe Bill was like thumb over hers, but the killer was like thumb under. And it's
In
like,
true serial killer fashion, doing it the wrong way.
we just can't hold hands when we walk together anymore.
Yeah, or I'll just walk on the other side of you.
I'll hold the real hand.
Yeah, the real one. What about you guys, Mike?
For me, the only thing I wrote down for this section was their kiss in the morning when he's off to work. It was just gross. And, it was a horrible kiss. They had no chemistry. And it went on forever. And then it cuts to the kids like,
oh my God, the kids were so weird.
Yeah.
Like weird kids.
It reminded me of, it made me think of Sleepaway Camp.
Oh,
with the two kids like looking in the door, giggling at the dad and the lover, and it's just like, ugh.
Yeah, the kids were weird, and I also didn't understand why didn't the kids like visit him at all when he was rehabbing. They're like, so dad's been away. Like you didn't tell. Like those kids are old enough to know like he's okay. Like he was in an accident. Like they weren't like, where's dad? Like, can we go see him? He was away for 4 months.
They had school, elementary schools. I don't know.
I don't know. It seemed wild to me. Chad, what was terrifying or tittillating for you?
Oh, I just had. You guys have all touched on it, but the sex scene, the first time they're together, it was weird. It was just he reaches over and he touches her, and then they go full on, and I was just like, his arms all scarred up and looking weird. I don't know, it just was weird, unsettling to me. I didn't know where to put that, but obviously in that category is
and I just don't know. I don't know if I could do it, and then like I don't know.
You don't touch me with that hand. You use the other hand.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
But also they could have done something kind of funny with this also.
They could have.
They could have. Yeah. But they did not.
They missed a lot of moments that could have been really, really good if they leaned into the silliness of this film.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They decided to make this some kind of philosophical film about where evil does lie, and if you got a horrible person's part of your body, would it change you? No, it wouldn't change you. So
I would have loved it when he put his hand like down between her legs. He's like, "Ooh, you've never done that before."
That's a new technique or something like that.
Where'd you learn that?
Maybe this arm was a good idea.
Right? Like they could have done something funny. That's what I mean. Like it could have been a different technique.
So much more agile.
And nimble fingers. Need
to rewrite this.
All right, now we're going to see what stood the test of time. Mike, what stood the test of time for you?
So for me, the only thing that stood the test of time was I found the blood effect, or at least the wound, was pretty good.
Yeah,
but it wasn't great. And I'm just giving it because there was nothing else in this movie that I could find stood the test of time.
Yeah, I would kind of agree with that. I thought the arm looked really gross. I also thought they did a pretty good job making it look gnarly with the scars on it too. I thought that makeup on the arm itself, not the forehead apparently, but the rest of it looked pretty good. And especially when he's trying to move it at first. I don't know. I thought that was I questioned why it was up so high. But it was propped up above his head. But yeah, I thought that was pretty good. And overall, I thought the blood and gore was good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, throughout the whole film. But Chad, what about for you?
Yeah, that's the same. I just thought that the arm looked really good and the blood was good as well. Even in the silly scenes where, they're cutting the head off and his arm is coming off and the guy has his legs stolen.
He got robbed. Right off him.
The blood looked good. Also, I'm not sure where to put this, so I'm going to put it here. Nike Force sneakers. I had a pair of those.
Oh, hell yeah.
The exact same ones that guy was wearing with the blue tongue and stuff like that. So I was like, yeah, that's the test of time.
Really, awesome. Hell yeah. So trendy.
Love those shoes.
That's awesome. I also, along with the blood and gore, I liked when the blood spatter was on the doctors when they were sawing off the head and it went all up her. Yeah. But like I said, they could have done something cool with that too. Even if her eyes widened or she looked really into it or something like that, that would have been something cool that could have happened.
When I was watching that, it bothered me because I'm like, she would have a face shield on.
Yes.
Because the blood was hitting her bare skin. And I was just like,
why does the doctor have bare skin too? It's come on.
Yep.
And then I kind of liked the opening credits as well, and I wrote here, except for the nipples. So it was because it's the
anatomical
parts, and then it was but the nipples were they looked angry. And
they looked angry.
They were staring at me. But I did like the opening credits. Yeah, so that was good. Now we're gonna look at our laugh out loud moments. Chad, what made you laugh out loud?
Mark's death scene on the as soon as he walked in and saw Mark on the bed with his legs ripped off. I lost it. I was like, what the fuck just happened? They took his legs and
bye.
And then the other one I had was when the guy's leaving the car and he's grabbing the limbs that he just has in the back of the seat.
They're all akimbo.
He's grabbing the feet are in his face and he's trying to run away from this car that's going to blow up. I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. Which is why they could have gone so much farther with it and made it so funny. And because that alone, him in that stupid neck brace, hardly able to move, grabbing these limbs that he's collected from these other people. Oh my God. It's just hilarious. Yeah. So those were my two laugh out loud.
Yeah, I had the same one and I just thought, all I could think about was thighs are heavy.
Yes. That's the biggest part of your body.
They're huge. So it's they're so heavy.
And just awkward as
and they'd be kind of floppy. And you'd have to pick them up by the crease of the knee and then balance the weight of the thigh versus the calf. It's all I can think about. It doesn't make any sense.
It's just so good. He's got that, and then he's got to struggle with an arm, an extra arm, and he's got to he's like, how the fuck am I going to get this other arm in here?
It'd be great if he slapped him across the face.
They could have done so much. They just didn't.
So many.
Turn the hand face down, smile to them
Oh man!
Oh my goodness!
So good.
Mike, what did you have?
The one I had was in the surgery when she decapitates him. There's the computer monitor, and they show the head being decapitated on the body.
That's almost like a trope in itself, too. The machine saying exactly what's going on.
Exactly what's happening.
It's come on. 1991 technology,
Detached.
guys.
Detached. It's what the fuck?
Oh, that's funny. All right. Now we're going to move into eerie to ear splitting. Mike, what was eerie or ear splitting for you?
So I had that the opening credits went on too long, but I liked the music and the graphics.
Yes. Yeah.
The nipples did not appear angry to me.
They just seem angry. I
They
don't
weren't
know.
staring at you.
Yeah, they weren't staring at me in judgment.
Just me.
Just you.
Me. Okay.
And then the other one I had was just the weird sound effects during the bar fight where there's like the waving pool cues, like it's like kung fu movie whooshing sounds.
And the punches, like the sound effect of the punches were it was like just so when he hits his kid.
Oh my gosh,
was another
yes.
LOL moment I had. When he smacks his kid, it's like, ow, bam, and it just like lays off into him, and then the kid runs away, and I was like,
But the kid had a quick recovery for getting hit that hard.
Yeah.
Like that was
the way it sounded, like the audio on that hit sounded like he broke his jaw.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he comes in there, Mom, and then she comes in and what's wrong with you? And
just
then yells
clocked
at-
in the fucking face.
just smoke.
That was my what the fuck moment. 'Cause I was like, what the fuck is that?
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. It's like, I was like, oh my God, he fucking destroyed
But he just
that
fucking
kid.
hauled off on that kid. They're just wrestling, and he jumps on the one arm. Ow, fuck, man.
The sound effect as well was- He hit him so hard.
So hard.
Not that a domestic abuse is funny, but in this
sound
particular instance, it was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it was super over the top. I guess I should have put that in the LOL moment. But, yeah. And then, Chad, what did you have?
Oh, my ear-to-ear splitting was the audio and the punches. I had that. But then I also had the music when the killer is revealed is way too much. I said. I just thought there were times where the music almost took over the scene. Like it just came on really strong.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel it needed to be used as much as it was in this film. I think they could have dialed it back.
Totally. I had the sounds or the music, sorry, at the opening credits. And then I also said, however, in the surgery, the sounds were annoying. It sounded like space, like UFO kind of sounds. And I was like, what is happening
Like the
here?
Monty Python. We even have the machine that goes,
Yeah, it was just like kind of off-putting and didn't match. All right. Now we're going to take a look at the moments in the film that made us say, what the fuck? Chad.
My what the fuck moment was the reveal at the end when he walks in and all the body parts are hanging in the like Star Wars chamber there.
and the torso is still breathing.
Moving. It's like twitching and breathing. And I was like, what the fuck is happening?
And they're like dangling there.
Yeah, they're just hanging there with wires all hooked into it. Yeah, so that was my what the fuck. Yeah.
Mine is like similar to that, except it's when they just shot the shit out of all of them. Like but then I was also like, shoot the brain. Like what?
Yeah.
Shoot the brain. Why are you shooting the limbs? Like, come on. We've established where the
what
evil
is happening?
lies.
Yeah.
We know now. We know the answer. I'm supposed to be smart. But then he questioned, is he really?
Yes,
No.
I know.
No. Mike, what about for you?
So on that, where does evil lie? Because he asks that question
So much.
so many times.
Gratuitous.
Yes. Yeah.
But I love, there's a moment where he's getting really introspective. He's like, where does evil lie? If a tree falls in the forest.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It's like, holy shit. Those are your two equivalent philosophical questions. The human soul and the nature of evil in man. And if a tree falls in the forest,
Does
does
anyone
Anybody here? Yeah.
So maybe not that smart, I guess. Oh my goodness. All right, now we're going to look at our back it up moments. Chad, what moment did you back up?
I think my back it up was the not the whole car chase scene. It was the end that we were laughing about where the guy's trying to grab his limbs and get out of Dodge before the car explodes and burns him up. Yeah, I said, oh my God, the killer walking away with the limbs of his victims is awesome. So yeah, but that was my back it up moment. Everything else in this film was, what's the running time on this? Like an hour 30?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Hour 28.
Yeah,
Ooh.
28 minutes too long.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't back up anything except I wouldn't back up anything except for that part.
Yeah. Mike.
For me, my back it up was when he goes to see Remo Lacey, which that name is amazing.
Is that the leg guy?
That's
or
the other arm guy.
Oh, the other arm guy.
And
the artist.
Yeah, and I actually like Brad Dourif, the actor, was playing this person.
Yeah.
He was the only actor worth anything in this film. So I was like, oh, that was actually a really good scene because of him.
Right.
And so it's not like it was like back it up because it was great, but it was like it was the only moment in the film I enjoyed because good acting.
Yeah, he is good. Yeah.
Yeah, you did a good job. All right, thanks for those. Now we're going to go into hiding in the shadows. Chad, you had nothing. Mike, what did you have?
The first one I had was almost a what the fuck, but it was like, who drives with a cup of coffee? Like she hands him a mug of coffee unsealed. And I thought, oh, he's going to finish it and hand it back. No, he takes it into the car with him.
That's funny. That's funny you said that because I had the question, are there no travel mugs back then?
1991? Nothing.
I believe there was something you could have put your coffee in. Nobody drives with a ceramic mug.
And it had nothing to do with his accident, which is weird.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, maybe he's going to spill
yeah.
And then my other one, I just put, he has shitty kids. They were so annoying.
They were so annoying. Yes.
He has shitty kids.
But it's also like their behavior, like that when he comes down and they're throwing food at each other in the kitchen and like.
That's supposed to be a happy time.
Oh, they're shitty kids.
Yeah.
That's why one of them got punched. The hand knew.
Exactly.
Well, and I love one of the things that I put on here was that when he leaves, it's so boring. When he says goodbye to his kid, Daddy's got to go away for a while. Can I come with you? And all that stuff. It was so boring. And I was like, just get the fuck out of the house. Yeah. Go to the hotel. Write your memoir, whatever you're going to do. This is forever, this scene. And he just cold cocked you right in the living room, not 10 minutes ago. Now you want to go with him? Like, come on. I think there'd be a little more trauma.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways.
I just was confused about how fingerprints in a database would work. Like if you're using a criminal on death row's fingers, he'd be in the database.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that seems like a risk. They'd have to burn off the fingertips or something like that, right? Because
well, and then they fingerprint him and find a match immediately. Whereas even up to the 2000s on CSI, it's it's going to take a while.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, this one it's instant.
We got to get this done quick.
Yeah.
And this guy was they just made him the worst killer. 20 people, and then he killed 5 cops. And it's just, they really hit it way too much. Come on.
And he kicked a bunny or something.
Yeah. He speaks bad to puppies. I don't know. How much more horrible can we make this person?
Not the puppy. All right, now we're going to head into Fright Done Right. What did we think, guys?
So for this one, I was struggling to think what other movies other than Body Bags, which we're going to talk about in another episode, but what other films have done amputation or body part swap? And so I was just Frankenstein, a stitching together a body.
Oh, yeah.
And I would give Frankenstein has done it better in some ways, but yeah, I had nothing that I could connect this with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a good one. I had nothing. I was besides obviously Body Bags.
Yeah.
Which, like you said, we're going to talk about. But yeah, Frankenstein would be a good one. Like I said, this movie, and like we've said, this movie could have been so good. If it took really that Reanimator type vibe, it would have been awesome. Yeah. But I don't know. Chad, what do you think? Anything?
As far as stitching bodies together. This wasn't a horror film, but it was one that I actually liked. It starred Gene Hackman and Hugh Grant, and it was called Extreme Measures. They're trying to cure paralysis. And so he experiments on the homeless, and he brings them in, and he does these experimental operations to try to reconnect the spine. And it goes horribly wrong. But so all these people are just kind of cast aside, and they're twitching, and they're it's quite dark. I don't think it's classified as a horror though. I think it's more classified as a thriller.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I thought that one is, if you're going to be serious, that one's better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's acted better. I like that film.
I forgot about it. I quite liked it when I saw it.
Yeah.
It sounds vaguely familiar, but I can't.
It's an older movie. I think it's 20 years.
1996.
Yeah. It's a young Hugh Grant. And as far as body horror goes, The Fly was really good, was way better. And The Thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to talk about, things taking over your body, then those two films, just go see those.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
definitely skip
those
this
were
one.
the ones that I put in.
Awesome. Thanks. Okay, now we're going to head into our bonus features. Mike, why don't you start us off? What did you find in your research?
This movie did not do well at the box office. Budget of 10 million, worldwide gross 9.2. So, yeah. And then, I'm sure you both have this one as well. So I'm sorry I'm stealing it, but less than 2 weeks before the release date, serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer was captured in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And so then they were like, well, we don't want to be associated with that. So they held it back from being screened in Milwaukee. But then the news of it being held back in Milwaukee made it connected to Jeffrey Dahmer because
even more so.
Yeah.
Well, they also pulled some of the trailers with the body part because he had body parts in his fridge and stuff. So they pulled like a bunch of trailers and stuff that focused on that element of the film. So
unfortunate.
Which how do you not focus on that element of the film? It's fucking called body parts.
Yeah. Maybe it played it up a bit actually, but I kind of had a little bit more to add on to that as well. So in a weird coincidence, there was a movie that came out in 1999. It was a horror comedy about murderous appendages called Idle Hands.
Oh yes, I remember.
I forgot about Idle Hands.
Yeah, so I guess we could have. Yeah,
that's my fright done right.
There you go. We can go back and do it. But what's interesting about this, coincidentally, is that it was released at the same time as the Columbine High School massacre. So the same kind of thing happened.
Oh, right, yeah.
So they were pulling it and delaying it because of that as well. So it was criticized for that. And then I have the stunt double for Jeff Fahey almost died during the car crash scene because the force of the rear end collision caused him to be ejected 50 feet into the air without a harness.
Without a harness?
Holy
shit.
He somehow was not injured and the shot made the final cut. So that's actually
So that's really him flying through the air like that from an actual accident.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
With no harness.
Yeah.
So 50 feet.
Holy fuck.
I know.
That is horrible.
Yeah. Those are my first two. Chad, what did you have?
Well, you guys have touched on a few things that I had, but I had Body Parts was nominated for 4 Fangoria Chainsaw Awards. Brad Dourif for Best Supporting Actor, Lindsay Duncan for Best Supporting Actress, Loic Dicker for Best Soundtrack, and Gordon J. Smith for Best Makeup Effects. Of the nominations, only Dourif took home the prize. So this is a magazine that was out. It's called Fangoria, and it focuses on horror films, and it does its own little award thing. So that it won some awards for that.
And which category did it win? Sorry,
it won for best. Who was it?
Brad Dourif. You said
Dourif.
Yeah, and that's for Best Supporting Actor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That
and
makes
fair
sense.
enough. He was great.
That was one of the highlights. Yeah, you said, Mike. So
there was. Let's see. The special effects and makeup effects crew for Body Parts included common elements with the films, such as The Shape of Water, Resurrection, Jason 10, Mimic, Near Dark, Jacob's Ladder, Total Recall, Judge Dredd, Daredevil, Congo, and The Cube.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
That's all I got.
Mike, did you have a couple others?
I did, actually. I watched a couple of YouTube behind the scenes or making of pieces. And one thing that I thought was kind of interesting is like Jeff Fahey, it's his hand for the second part of the film, or once the amputation happens, but they used a body double anytime his right hand was on screen before the amputation transplant because they wanted to make sure that the hands didn't look the same.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I just thought that was an interesting thing. Instead of having to worry about how do we do a body double for the rest of the movie, they were like, oh, let's do the body double at the beginning for the short period, and then it can just be Jeff Fahey for the rest of it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And then for the car accident, 9 cameras were used to film the crash scene. And sort of to add how it went wrong, the car wasn't supposed to flip.
Oh.
And so they almost didn't get the shot. But so they've got the hit, they've got the start of the flip, the going through the window and all that. And then they've got the car after the crash.
Yeah.
But yeah, it flipped out of the shot.
Oh.
Yeah. So like,
holy fuck.
Could you imagine if okay, reset. Can you do that again? Just like, get fucked.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow. For me, I said that the film adaptation of this had taken years and years. It had gone through several different people, including Alfred Hitchcock was actually willing to direct as well.
Oh, yeah.
But it took about 25 years for it to actually get someone to sign on and go through with it. So,
wow.
Yeah, crazy. Chad, did you have anything else?
No, I'm good.
Mike.
I just have international titles. Nothing great. Most of them were just body parts, but like Argentina, Cursed Bodies.
Okay.
Brazil, Anatomy of a Murderer, which kind of ha ha ha.
Yeah.
French Canada was just The Transplant. Hungary, Killer Body Part. And then Italy was No Control.
No control.
All right.
Yeah, they're fine.
Yeah.
Perfect. Now we're going to head into our watchability scale. Mike, where would you put this on our watchability scale?
I knew you were going to ask me to go first.
Do you want me to?
No, it's fine. I really didn't enjoy the movie, but it's a 3. It's not horrible, but I don't think it's worth watching. So I don't want to get too close to that 5.
Right.
Yeah.
But I didn't like it, but I didn't hate it either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat as you. I'm like, it's 3 or 4 for me. It's kind of in that realm. I just wish they would have done that funny. I wish they would have. So just because of that, I'm going to keep it at a 3 as well. I think it was fine. I watched it through. It was a bit long, a little bit boring. They had some good scenes, but other than that, yeah, I think I'll keep it at the 3.
Yep.
Chad?
I'm going to give it a 4 just because the moments that I liked in it were enough that I wouldn't say watch the film, but if you can find the clips on YouTube, you should check out some of the funny parts. I didn't think the film was awful. We've definitely seen worse, but
Yes,
it,
that we have.
it's not enough to give it a 5. Like, I mean, if it's on TV, have it on in the background while you're vacuuming or whatever, but don't sit there and really invest a lot of time into it. Like there are definitely some moments in this film that work, but most of it doesn't. And I agree. I really wish they had an opportunity to make this thing awesome.
Yeah.
And I think by trying to make it too philosophical and too serious, they just missed the mark. So,
Yeah.
But I'm going to keep it a 4.
Cool. Yeah, this would be like, if someone wants to take a movie and do something fun with it, this would be an awesome remake to do.
Yeah.
So, anyone out there?
Yeah. Any filmmakers out there, go nuts.
Yeah, go nuts. It'd be awesome. Perfect. Thanks for that, guys. Thank you very much for listening to us. Remember to follow us on Instagram. We are at ScreamStreamPod. Stop by our website, screamsandstreams.com, where we have information about our episodes, descriptions of our categories, links to our research, our watchability scale, and a page where you can recommend movies that you want us to discuss. And please rate, comment on, and subscribe to our show on any of the platforms where you get your podcasts. Until next time, this has been Sam and
Chad
and
Mike.
scare you later.